I want to talk about some broad themes. If you remember, on the very first day of session, I stood here and I talked about our vision for the state of Indiana on the Democratic side of the aisle, the things that we thought should be accomplished. Building the middle class, reinforcing our traditional public schools. We've had a long journey since then, and while we've gone along this journey, I have to admit, I'm envious of you guys. You've been presented a tremendous opportunity to lead Indiana. You've been given 2 supermajorities. You've been given a governor who's supportive of you most of the time. You've been granted a bounty of statewide officials, save one, and even she enjoys working with many of you. You've been given a great opportunity. Representative Porter used the word opportunity. And that's why I'm so concerned that you didn't use it to do more. You didn't. I would like to have a supermajority. I would like to have a governor on my team, because it would be an opportunity to accomplish the types of things that Democrats would like to see done. Building on the middle class as the economic engine of this state. Reinforcing our schools for all kids, not subjecting them to experiments, not expecting them to Washington think tank ideas. We have real problems here in Indiana, and you did not deal with them boldly. We have 8.7% unemployment, lagging behind the nation. We have median household income, $4,000 behind the rest of the nation. A poll just came out yesterday. More Americans, including Hoosiers, are in fear of dropping out of the middle class than ever before. We are not addressing their problems, and you did not use your supermajority to address their problems. Now, you heard Representative Porter talk about some of the specifics. You punted on the biggest jobs bill of a generation. One time, Governor Daniels said major moves was the biggest jobs bill. Well, we all know it wasn't. But we never saw jobs estimates that came anywhere close to the one that came from the Indiana Hospital Association. 30,000 private sector jobs, middle class jobs that keep people in the middle class, lift them out of the middle class by doing a healthcare expansion that you resisted simply because you're not fans of our president. Right here, this is in the Arizona Republic. Yesterday, federal health officials dealt a blow to opponents of Medicaid expansion Thursday, saying they're unlikely to fund a slimmed-down version of Arizona's indigent health care program. They're trying to do the same thing as the governor downstairs. Now, you can blame the bureaucrats all you want to. Maybe they deserve some blame. But guess what? Here's what's going to happen. Your way probably isn't going to work. Governor Pence's way on the health care expansion probably is not going to work. And come October 1st, the taxes that we've sent to Washington will start paying for people in Illinois to enroll in health care, for people in Kentucky, who we're supposed to always think that we do a better job than, people in Kentucky to enroll in health care, people in Ohio, people in Michigan. We're using our tax money to sign up for health care coverage, so they don't have to go to the emergency room. And your constituents are going to start calling you and say, what do I do? What do I do, Representative Neese? What do I do, Representative Clear? There's going to be confusion, and you're going to have to explain, well, we turned it all over to the governor, and his way didn't work, and we don't have a plan B, and you're out of luck. And by the way, if you get sick, just go to the emergency room, and the taxpayers and the other premium payers will be willing to pay for it. So that's what you've told them. You let the middle class down there. You also missed another opportunity. You put us, you know, I said this on that show with a couple of viewers that I was on with Speaker Bosma the other day, where you used to come up with these sports analogies. You know with the NBA playoffs going on right now, you know how, you ever hear the term NBA hell, where you're not bad enough to get a good draft pick to get good again? You put us in tax cut hell. You gave us the worst of all possible worlds. You would have been better off either doing what you guys want to do at the beginning, which is give nothing in terms of the governor's tax plan, or you would have been better off just saying, let's do the whole thing. But you gave us the worst of all possible worlds. There are 2 possible outcomes. You don't do the tax cut, you preserve the revenue to be able to help the middle class. Maybe you help them with health care. Maybe you help them where they can get new skills. Maybe you help them where they don't go bankrupt when they have to go to the doctor. Okay, you could have done that. Or you could have said, you know what, we're good old supply-siders, let's do some economic stimulus, let's get some money in the hands of consumers, they can go out and buy things, they can lift retail sales here in Indiana, they could do a host of other things. Maybe there's some benefit that could come from that. But instead, you did the worst thing you could have done. Compromise politics is worst. You gave up the revenue, and then you gave people a tax cut that was spread so thin they won't even notice it. I promise you, because I've lived through it before, I promise you, you're going to go back and claim you cut taxes, and your constituents say, yeah, right. But guess what? You might have to raise taxes again in a few years because you gave up the revenue. So there's that. You let the middle class down in that way. Now, let's say another thing about these tax cuts, because I know Governor Pence is pretending like he's got a happy face on, but I can't believe that he does. Because you're giving him credit for a tax cut you already passed on the corporate side for the bigwigs under Governor Daniels. You're speeding up this inheritance tax cut, which, by the way, provides no economic stimulus at all. Maybe you don't believe in stimulus, but revenue dissipates, and well, you got to be dead to get the tax cut. Or if you're a mourner, you might be able to get the tax cut. That's not a very good economic job-creating deal. And then, well, you know, the banks got their bid, and some other people and outside bills got their stuff, and I suppose some of those things on an individual level is okay, but they're only okay if you remember on the other side is that you need consumers and workers too. So we got some big economic problems here. You didn't use your supermajorities to help the middle class, who are the economic engine that create prosperity for themselves and for people trying to get into the middle class. Now then, there's the last thing, and Representative Porter touched on it. It's your schools, the future of our state, because people care about their own current condition, but they care about the lives their kids are going to have. And we all agree, both sides of the aisle, that starts with an education. But we saw these school formulas, and you always have, well, look, there's not a negative next to this number. Oh, this says 1%. It's behind the rate of inflation, but, you know, 1%. But you forgot about the $300 million you took away in 2011. You forgot about the $300 million that were never restored in 2012. You forgot about the numbers of cuts adding up and up and up and up. All we ever asked is that when you took the money, when you took the promised investments away from the schools, give them their money back. When you had the money again, give the money back to the people that you promised it to in the first place. And you didn't do it. You didn't do it. You gave him back a little bit, but you didn't do it. There's schools that are cut all over Indiana. And then you're siphoning off money to pay for the think tank experiments that you're going to continue with bills like 1003. And you're going to keep doing that because you got to uphold your obligations there. But what's going to happen is that what the people of Indiana really want is not going to be addressed. They want their kids to go to safe schools. They want kids that are falling behind to get a little bit extra help. It's not that complicated. It's not that complicated. You took the money from them, you didn't give them back, and you redistributed in a way where, guess what? This is now your education policy. If you're doing good and you're having success and your school's got plenty of resources, we're going to give you more. We're going to give you more, and then that's going to embarrass the schools that are struggling with all the at-risk kids to do better as we take money away from them. That's what you're doing, which unfortunately matches your economic policy a little bit, which is about getting money and power in the hands of the right people in the hopes they might do good things for the rest of us. So you missed a chance here. It's not too late. You're going to be back next session. We're going to make an appeal to you. Learn your lesson from now. You had opportunities. You squandered them. You let the middle class down. You told them that the status quo is good enough. Well, it's not. Learn. Listen to your constituents. Adopt the Affordable Care Act expansion when you have the opportunity. Bear with your constituents when they're angry through the next few years. And if you do those things, you're going to fulfill part of the vision that we have on this side of the aisle, and hopefully adopt some new visions on this side of the aisle. Because forever, Indiana will be a great place to live if this body is the one that is making the world safe for working men and women, for hardworking taxpayers, and those who spend their dollars to improve the lives of others. That's what we're here about. When we have those things, we will have a very blessed state. But it is not now, it is not tonight, and it starts with defeating this budget. Thank you.